From the amount of videos that I have made on this channel, I think it's pretty safe to assume that I'm a huge Superman fan. I love the character, I love his world, I love his ideals, and love what he overall stands for. Which is why it is totally upsetting to me that we haven't gotten a proper sequel to Man of Steel. A sequel that not only improves on the flaws of the first movie, but overall is an excellent Superman movie. So far, from what I've been gathering, I've now come to understand that part of the reasons why we haven't gotten a sequel to Man of Steel was because the movie and the universe the movie was set in is incredibly divisive. But to me personally, that reason isn't enough. Just because there are a few people who take issues with the first movie, that doesn't mean you give up entirely or you start panicking and looking to recast the actor. Like it's his fault the movies are bad. Henry Cavill is a great actor, and if you ask me, he can be our perfect modern Superman if we just gave him a little bit of chance. His portrayal and version of Superman, to me, has so much potential and a lot of room to grow. Giving up on him before he even gets his chance to shine isn't fair in my opinion. Just because one movie didn't sit too well with some people, that doesn't mean you give up on the entire story revolving around the character. I feel like I have to give an example for you guys to get my point. I'm gonna be using MCU Spider-Man as an example. Tom Holland is great. Not only does he look like Spider-Man, but his portrayal and acting of the character is spot on. And from the way he talks about the character, it proves to me, and I think to many others, that he understands what makes the character compelling. But after Far From Home, a lot of people complained about his portrayal of Spider-Man and how it was depicted on screen, saying that the MCU never truly understood the character. Now imagine if the MCU chose to look at these complaints and instead of understanding their mistakes, they instead chose that the number one solution was to look for a new actor. That would mean that we wouldn't have No Way Home, a movie that not only improved on the mistakes of the last movie, but above all shows us that there is more to come with this Spider-Man, that there is still more stories to be told with this character. And this is the same way I see Henry Cavill's Superman. Yes, I know his movies have flaws, but I don't think we should give up on his character just yet. I personally still think that there are stories for Henry Cavill's Superman, sequels that will overall improve on his character. So that's what I intend to do with this video. Talk about some of the sequels that I hope can happen if Henry is still our Superman. Now, before I talk about the list of sequels that I have in mind, I want to talk about the first thing that really has to change when going into his future sequels, and that's the director. Zack Snyder should not direct the next Superman movie. I know it's hard to hear for a lot of Snyder fans, but I'm sorry. He shouldn't be the one to direct the next Superman movie. The sequels will still happen in his universe, but he shouldn't be the director for the next movies. In my opinion, another director needs to take over the directing chair and pick up where Snyder left off. The next director needs to come and improve on the last movie. In fact, improve on Snyder's trilogy as a whole. The next director needs to understand the story that is set around this character. I will not disrespect what Snyder has already started. The next director needs to love superhero movies and isn't shying away from what makes these characters compelling. The director will understand the weakest parts of the previous movies and work on making them stronger on the sequels. That director to me needs to be Matthew Vaughn. Matthew Vaughn by now should be a no-brainer and the obvious number one choice for the sequels to Man of Steel. Not only does he love comic book movies, but he is also a huge Superman fan. On top of that, the director has also made some of the coolest comic book movies on the big screen. He is the director who made Kingsman: The Secret Service and the first Kick-Ass movie. Plus, he has proven to me that he has the ability to bring back a dying franchise, like he did with the X-Men franchise, when he made arguably the best X-Men movie, X-Men: The First Class. A movie that literally brought life back to a franchise that was well on its way to the grave, thanks to two absolutely abysmal and atrocious movies. Thanks to First Class, Matthew Vaughn has proven to me that he will not act like the three Snyder movies didn't happen. Instead, he will try and see how he can make them better, turning the flaws and weaknesses into strengths. Similar to how the Russos took the flaws of Joe Johnston's Captain America's The First Avenger and made them a lot better in Winter Soldier and Civil War. On top of that, the guy is very keen on making a Superman movie with Henry Cavill. He said it back in 2013 when Man of Steel was in development. He said it back in 2016 when Batman v Superman was in development. And he said it again recently when promoting his new Kingsman movie.
Are there any other superheroes that you'd love to bring to the big screen?
Always wanted to make a Superman film, and my Superman movie would be incredibly different to the Superman film that's out there, but
How so?
I'd do the more colourful Dick Donner It's Superman. He's wearing his underwear outside his pants. You know what I mean. So I'd do more the Superman that I grew up on and loved.
What do you think about the fact that Goyer and Chris Nolan, I guess, is godfathering, so to speak, this new Superman film?
Well, I think they're both talented, so it's in good hands. I just hope they don't make it too serious. I think that's the one thing not to do with Superman, is try and do the serious Dark Knight version. You have to. Superman is about colour and fun. It should be,
Yeah.
for me.
Nolan is very good at doing what he did with Batman, and the subject matter of Batman deserves to be dark. But there are other superheroes, like I don't think Superman should be dark. Superman, the clues in the costume, what it should be like. Spider-Man. I think you have to always respect source material, and if you're going to reinvent it in a way that's done in respect, not just for the sake of doing it. So I have had chats about Superman. I love Superman. I like superheroes. I'm sort of nervous of the world suddenly not getting sick of superheroes. If somebody asks you about, well, me to do, whether it's Indiana Jones, most of the superheroes, or Star Wars, the fanboy in me can't help but be excited and think, oh my god, this will be great. So never say never.
He just wants to make an awesome Superman movie. Why isn't Warner Brothers calling him already? Personally, if you ask me, it should be Matthew Vaughn, not J.J. Abrams. I don't know why Warner Brothers keep calling J.J. Abrams for a new Superman movie, especially when he almost destroyed the character with his last pitch. If you guys didn't know, J.J. Abrams once pitched an idea for a Superman movie long before Man of Steel was even made, and his pitch and take on Superman is absolutely terrible. I'm not going to go over the details of his pitch in this video because a really cool channel called Owen Likes Comics already made a video as to what J.J. Abrams' take on Superman could have been like on the big screen. If you guys are interested into checking the video, the link will be down below. But the point is, Abrams shouldn't be given a chance to make another Superman movie. Even if Vaughn doesn't get the chance to do it, it still shouldn't be Abrams. But hey, these are my own thoughts on the directors. I'd like to know which director you guys would like to make the next Superman movie. But with that out of the way, let's get into the Man of Steel sequels that I hope could happen. Starting with the first one, I personally think that the next Superman movie needs to be grounded. It needs to focus more on characters and how we can improve them. The movie will be a sequel to Man of Steel, but can also have the chance to be a prequel to another DC movie. And to me, this should be Superman Bloodsport's target.
Robert Dubois. He's in prison for putting Superman in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet.
Now, I know the movie sounds a little bit dumb, but I personally think that with the right execution, this concept could actually work. If done well, we could actually see a cool movie where an assassin is going to figure out all the ways he could use to kill Superman. Thanks to the cameo from the Peacemaker series, I personally think that this movie and the concept around this movie has a high chance of being made. Plus, Idris Elba, the actor for Bloodsport, has gone on record saying that he will be interested for a movie like this. Next on the list is the one that I think everyone wants to see, which is the Black Adam vs Superman movie. Now, personally for me, I don't really see it as a Superman movie. To me personally, if Black Adam has to be the villain in a movie, then Shazam has to be a hero with Superman being a helping hand. But I can't deny that it would be really cool to watch if it ends up being made. And before the Black Adam vs Shazam and Superman movie is made, I personally would prefer if the Bloodsport movie is made first. The next on the line needs to use a new and different Superman villain. A new Superman villain that hasn't been used on the big screen before. Outside of Lex Luthor, Superman has other unique and interesting villains. And I really hope that they start using them on the big screen. That's why my next sequel idea is Superman X Champion.
Happy birthday, Kryptonian. I give you oblivion.
Out of all the sequel and movie ideas that I have on this list, this is the one that if announced, I will be more excited for, because it doesn't just only introduce a new villain, but a new concept altogether. This movie will have Mongol as the villain, and the movie will be having a lot of wrestling vibes in it, giving us gauntlets and tournament battles. I don't want to give anything away because I'm currently working on a script where I'll be taking huge inspirations from the Gladiator movie, Justice League's War World episode, Young Justice War episode, and Superman War World Saga storyline. If I personally was in charge of directing a movie like this, it will have the biggest and coolest action sequences in any other Superman movie. The action sequences for a movie like this will have to be large in scale because Superman will be going up against other monsters and aliens. And the last sequel idea that I have for Superman before Snyder's Endgame will be a movie with a villain that a lot of fans, most especially Superman fans, have been clamoring for. Superman Brainiac's arrival.
You are your father's son, Kal-El. Headstrong, foolish, easily defeated, and ultimately forgotten.
This movie will have Brainiac, a smart but creepy alien that has constantly pushed Superman to his limits as the villain. A lot of fans, myself included, really want to see this type of movie on the big screen. And depending on the execution with a villain like Brainiac, we could get one of the best Superman movies. Now, all the movies that I just mentioned, from Superman Bloodsport Target all the way to Brainiac's arrival, will be made before Snyder's Endgame. Listing all these movies, I would personally like for all of them to happen in chronological order, to happen the exact way that I just listed them. Then, after all these movies, if Superman ends up surviving his battle against Darkseid, then 2 more movies will happen. Superman Against All Odds, which will just be a live-action adaptation of Superman vs. the Elite, and Superman Farewell, which will be the live-action adaptation of All-Star Superman, culminating his journey all the way from Man of Steel, where he was alone and confused, to this movie, where his mind and his goals are now clear. The world, Lois, and his child will say goodbye to him as he flies into the sunset. Like I said earlier in this video, just because a movie is a bit different from the source material and chooses to make a few changes, that doesn't mean that we instantly choose to reboot or recast the whole thing. What we should do is look at the flaws and weaknesses of the movie and see how we can take these flaws and improve on them in the next movie. Because that's what I'm personally interested in doing. Improving in the next movie. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not open for another actor to play Superman or another portrayal of Superman on the big screen, because I'm fully open to it. I'm open to another Superman movie that might possibly start its own universe and tell its own stories. I'm just saying that we shouldn't close our eyes to the one that we already have simply because it's a bit different. With Henry Cavill as Superman, backed up with Matthew Vaughn and his creative team, we can see some of the best Superman stories being told on the big screen. But hey, these are all my own personal ideas. I'm currently working on a script for all these movies and will eventually make a video on how I would personally pitch and structure them. So if you're interested, then stay tuned. But now I pass it on to you. What Superman story would you make as a sequel to Man of Steel? What director would you choose? And what ideas do you have for a Superman movie? Sound off your thoughts and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.